Let us all kneel for our word of prayer. Our most gracious, kind, loving Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you, Lord, for the many blessings that we receive each and every day. We thank you, Lord, for preserving our lives at this point of time. And Lord, as we start another week of prayer session, we are asking that you may please bless us. Please bless Ma'am Wintonette-Tabudlong as she speaks to us. Please anoint her lips, guide her, that we may be blessed through your words. We thank you, dear Lord, for hearing and answering our prayers. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Happy afternoon, everyone. I'm requesting katong naa sa likod nga mo transfer sa tubangan para katong maabot nga mga kauban nato din na sila mo ani diriya. Sa bago dili diha nang nila ipay ang likod, no? Ato sa mo diriya sa front nga area kay bakante mo man kayo. Ato gi feeling diriya bakante lang likuran. Okay, before we have our special song, kinsay nakahinumdum sa tuwang topic kanyang buntag? Si Andrew. So we are happy that our speaker is with us this afternoon, Ma'am Ching, na siya'y 5 question na po siya'y automatic ihatag na gift sa iyang ihata sa unang pagka-answer. Hands up lang tayo, no? Before ang ato ang hatag na ito ang special song stewardship. Excellence. Ma'am Ching.
Okay, so I prepared 5 prizes. So kung kinsay una maka hands up. Okay, number 1. Who are the 3 people or group of people who was introduced by Andrew to Jesus? Ma'am Merlin. Dili daw. Si Saisa. Tulo ang answer. No, it's not James. Tapay lahit. Shirley, I saw your hand kanina. No, tatlo, like 3 people or group of people that was introduced by Andrew to Jesus. May tatlo tayo na group or individual. Okay, we have Ma'am Jing. Okay, Ma'am Jing. Okay, Peter. The boy with the 5 loaves of yes, and the Gentiles. Correct. So, okay, next question. What is the title of this morning's topic based on the slide that I presented? Dili sa ato ang program. Rana.
Andrew, eager to bring out.
No, it's in the program. Katong slide nga ako ang i-present. It's different. It's not in the program. The one who blank. Walay nakahinumdum. The one who brought others to Jesus. Sige, next na lang. Okay, next. Before Andrew became the disciple of Jesus, he was an apostle of? Wala, dapat mag-raise ang hand. Dili mag-istorya. Wala. Shirley, kasi nag-raise siya ng hand. Okay, John the Baptist, rest, correct. Okay, next. Give 2 lessons we learned from the life of Andrew. Duha ka lesson, bahala dili siya verbatim ng pagka-istorya. What are the 2 lessons? Among the 10, di ba? We have 10 lessons. So what are the 2 lessons we learned from the life of Andrew? Rona.
Humility is needed to answer the call of God and not delay your
Okay, do not delay your conversion, and humility is needed to answer the call of God. Napatay isa? Okay, sige. Okay, kini pinaka sa'yo ni. Give the famous brother of Andrew. Who is the famous? Galen. Who? Simon Peter. Yes, correct. Wala lang po yung questions ko. Okay, who is our speaker this morning? Si Peter first. Complete. Aisa, si Aisa. Aisa.
Ako, ma'am. The speaker this morning who speaks about Andrew is Miss Ivy Chiret, Catholic.
Yes, okay. Thank you.
So, karon paminaw yung nagkarpang-tunet, kayong ba na siya i-prepare na 5 questions na po, no? Sa yahan topic karon, then na po yung prizes. So, ito yan tayo sa stewardship excellence.
Happy afternoon. Thank you, Stewardship Excellence, for that wonderful song. Hindi ko kakanta kinatins na. So, this afternoon, we will be discovering about Bartholomew, who is an honest and straightforward disciple. So, one down kanina, another down this afternoon. So, I hope we can learn and read, get something from Bartholomew today. Bartholomew is not actually a very famous disciple. Among the 12 disciples, dili kay siya famous gito. But one thing I read about him talks about his encounter with Jesus. And this is our theme, assimilating his disciples, encounters with Jesus. So for verses, Bartholomew is actually focused on John 1, verses 45 to 51. So these are just 6 verses about Bartholomew and his encounter with Jesus. I will read verse 45. Philip findeth Nathanael. So who is Philip? He is actually a very good friend of Nathanael, no? So, ipangita ni Philip si Nathanael. Bartholomew and Nathanael are the same person. And said unto him, We have found him, of whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. So, imagine ang imuhang friend, si Philip na imong amigo, dali, nakita na ako si Jesus, nakita na ako ang Messiah. So Jesus, the son of Joseph from Nazareth. Halina, gitawag niya. So imagine, unsa ka ka-excited? Ma-excited ka ta? Kaayo, no? But what did Nathanael said in verse 46? And Nathanael said unto him, Can there anything good come out of Nazareth? Uy, kasi tubag ni Nathanael, naabay something good nga mugawa sa Nazareth? Naabay maayo nga mugawa sa Nazareth? Naabay maayo mo kanta sa accounting? So naabay maayo mo presider sa laboratory, Ma'am Faye? Kaayo. Mas tense pa siya sa speaker kanina, no? So gipangutana ni Nathanael. Pangutana siya nga, naabay something good mugawa sa Nazareth? And then Philip said unto him, Come and see. So ato ta. Jesus saw, in verse 47, Jesus saw Nathanael coming to him. So nakita ni Jesus, napadulog si Nathanael, and he said, Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile. So in other version, ingon diri in whom there is no deceit. So dili deceitful daw ni Israelite. So grabe no, kayo kay ang greetings siya sa Ginoo. Behold, an Israelite indeed. So, research, unsa di ka pressure ang nabutang no kung mahimo kang Israelite. So, Israel, as we know, is the name of Jacob, right? And it means wrestle with God. So, when I search, the people of Israel, or the Israelites, are actually with that great connection and relationship with God. Katong mga una, pakaayo nga mga Israelites, grabe gid ilang connection sa Ginoo. So, imagine ang itawag sa Ginoo kay Nathanael, behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom there is no guile. Moto, ato ang title sa ato ang message is Bartholomew, honest and straightforward. So, in other words, no deceit is honest. So, let's learn ganong kaganina, di ba, niingon si Nathanael nga, is there anything good? So, straightforward si Nathanael sa unsa iyang mga thoughts. So, yun sa 48, Nathanael said unto him, whence knowest thou me? Nga kailan ka sa ako? Jesus answered and said unto him, before that Philip called thee, when thou wast under the fig tree, I saw thee. Nathanael answered and said unto him, Rabbi, thou art the Son of God, thou art the King of Israel. And Jesus answered and said unto him, because I said unto thee, I saw thee under the fig tree. Kaya nakikita ko sa imo, kaya nag-ingon ko sa imo nga nakita ka dito sa fig tree before ka niani sa ako, nituon na ka, believest thou? So ingon siya nga, nag-promise si Jesus dito, thou shalt see greater things than this. In 51, verily, verily, I say unto you, hereafter you shall see heaven open, and the angels of God ascending and descending upon the Son of Man. Imagine ang promise sa Ginoo kay Nathanael. Na ikaw mismo, kita, sa man sa ato adiri, ang nakita na sa ato ang guardian angel. Wala pa dyan, no? Pero nag-promise si Jesus na you will see angels of God ascending and descending upon the Son of Man. So let's learn who is Nathanael. So Nathanael, or Bartholomew, comes from the Hebrew name Bartholomew, which means son of Talamai. And he is also known as Nathanael, which also means gift of God. So what we know of him is that he came from a very small town of Cana. So kinsa naka-remember of nice something special sa Cana, right? The first miracle of Jesus happened in Cana, where he turned water into wine. So nahimo during sa wedding, di ba? Nahimo hangyo ni Mary si Jesus to turn water into wine. So Cana was very close to Jesus' hometown, which is in Nazareth. And Nazareth is actually, mura sila o nag-rival nga mga towns. Bakit? Nazareth, daga nag-aagi sa Nazareth. Whereas Cana, medyo humble ni si Cana. Gamay lang ang aagi kay Cana. And the people of Cana were actually great believers. And they believed of a Messiah. That a Messiah will come and he will save his people. And that is also the belief of Nathanael. He believed of repentance and the exaltation of the law and the synagogue. So, what are the greatest lessons we can learn from the life of the Apostle Bartholomew? As I've read in John 1:45 to 51, that was the encounter of Bartholomew with Jesus. So number one, gamay na kita kong slide. No, number one, first lesson we have, prophecy studied correctly brings peace. So the first verses that I've read was actually Philip's invitation. No? Katungin siya, uy, nakakita ko sa atong Messiah. So he is here. So Philip's invitation, he was a friend of Bartholomew. So in John 1:43, nag-ingon dito si Jesus kay Philip, come, follow me. Ingon siya kay Philip. And imagine, unsa ka maayo nga friend si Philip, no? Nga pagkakita niya sa Messiah, iyang gihagad, iyang giatuan, iyang friend na naglingkod-lingkod dito sa fig tree, and he said, and he shared the same message. No, giato niya, we have found him, Jesus. Come and see. So when Philip invited Bartholomew, what was he actually doing? Asa galing si Philip, ay si Bartholomew when niadto sa iya si Philip, nasa fig tree. He was actually under a fig tree and he was meditating. Okay? So what does sitting under the fig tree means? So in Judaism, the mention of the fig tree is also a symbol of the study of the law or the Torah. And it is also resonated in the Old Testament books. In Micah 4:4, every man will sit under his own vine and under his own fig tree, and no one will make them afraid. For the Lord Almighty has spoken. And in Zechariah 3:10, in that day each of you will invite his neighbor to sit under his vine and fig tree. So to know, what this actually means is peace. So how do we define peace and comfort nowadays? Karon yung ano sa kabisi sa Davao, no? Kay life is here. Unsa ang peace? Mag-live. Magbakasyon, no? Sometimes we define peace and comfort as sitting on the beach, permitted na ginahimo sa finance na single ladies, no? With families and friends, and enjoying the relaxation and also the moment to be away from work. And earlier this morning, naku i-share nga, nakaiwan yung ko nga, tinood yun ay ang relaxation pa, maka-create of peace sa ato ah. When Ma'am Jonah shared earlier this morning, ano siya sa ako kay nag-leave man siya last week. Ano siya, kung Ma'am Jonah, how was your vacation? And then she said, Ma'am, relaxing kaayo. Kanang, wag ko kayo na-unaon yung trabaho. No? Kanang, wag kayo na pagkaugma. Yung siya nga, pagkaugma daw, kanang, pagmatanim mo sa buntag, ikaw lang, on your own time ba, kamumataha, and then pagkagabi, pag yun, ma-imagine mo, matugnaw na po, diliinit, pareha diri sa Davao. So, na-relax si Ma'am Jonah ato man time. So, diba, she found peace when she was in Kamatagan, in her hometown. Maybe some of us would love the peace and quietness of being on the top of the mountain and feel the freshness of nature. Parehas itong ingo ni Ma'am Jonah. Or maybe, just like my little sister Star, she just loved the cozy atmosphere of the house. So magpundo lang na siya sa iyong kwarto. Matulog, magbasa Bible, magminaw sa music, makarelax na siya. So, lahi-lahi ta o peace and quietness sa ato ang self. And how about Bartholomew? No? During this time, nakakita siya of peace and quietness in that fig tree. And even our CPE, di ba? Sa CPE, kinahanglan na ay me time for relaxation. So si Rere, si Danre, pag singon, Ma'am, dapat ka mag-relax. Stress na kayo ka. No? So kinahanglan yun ay tag-me time. A time for peace and relaxation. So I'd like to ask everyone in this room, no, in the church, to have that 1 minute. Ato atong i-visualize ang atong peace in ourselves. Because this is week of prayer. And maybe kanang nagdali-dali ta karon og abot, no, wala ta naka-meditate ka dali in preparation for ourselves. Para madawat nato ang sa message sa Ginoo. So I'll ask for a 1 minute na mag-meditate and find that inner peace. So let's close our eyes and feel the Holy Spirit in our hearts. Okay, so thank you for calling the Holy Spirit in ourselves. So we can now imagine what Bartholomew was actually doing under the fig tree. He may be meditating and hoping and praying for that Messiah to come. Since he is a devoted Jew, he may be contemplating and finding peace. And who is the Prince of Peace? Kinsa day ang Prince of Peace? It's Jesus. So Jesus is the Prince of Peace. And when we study the prophecy correctly, it brings us peace. Because it points us to that Prince of Peace. So next we have lesson number 2. Sige itong lesson number 1. Prophecy studied correctly brings peace. But prophecy studied incorrectly brings prejudice. So, once again, sa verse John 1:46, Nazareth. So this is another version of the version sa John 1:46. Nazareth, can anything good come from there? Huyo kay ang pangutana ni Nathaniel. So, kita kay naka-bootcamp man ta, no? Kung saan na nato pagpangutana ani kay Philip? Kaya medyo sarcastic pa rin, di ba? Ma'am, naguma ang gripo sa imo CR? Dili ba sure tayo na mga tanong, no? Kaya naka-bootcamp man ta, ang saan kaya nato pagpangutana? Maybe perhaps we can say, as I read the Old Testament, Philip, according to Micah the prophet, the Messiah comes out of Bethlehem and not Nazareth. Diba? So medyo ang dating niya, instead of curiosity or confusion, kaya instead of, kanina magod siya nga dating medyo curious ka or confused ka, di ba kuan? Anak. But our Bibles, our disciple here said it with words dripping with sarcasm. Grabe ka sarcastic ang pag-ingon ni Nathaniel sa iyang comment. So, what Nathaniel was saying is merely the echoing of ancient contempt for Nazareth. Kaya unsa di ang Nazareth? Ingon dara sa atong slide, Nazareth was a rough town, unrefined and uneducated, and corrupt. So napagay nakabutang ito, ang Nazareth daw is wicked. So syempre, kung ako po daan siguro, kung kabalo mo nga ang Davao, ingani siya, corrupt siya, ang Manila, ingani siya, so naanatay daan nga notion na, ay, ganun na may something good will come out from them. It was inconceivable for Nathaniel that the Messiah would come out from a tacky place like Nazareth. But he was not the only one guilty of prejudice. You know what? Kung kita sa place ni Nathaniel, much of the nation of Israel rejected Jesus because they did not believe their Messiah would come out of Nazareth either. No? And his own received him not. They mocked the apostles as uneducated Galileans so much that the Prince of Peace wasn't even accepted in his home church. Diba? Wala siya gidawat sa iyang mga kaugalingon ng mga officers sa church. Prejudice in church members eventually crucified him. Diba? So let's not be naive, brethren. It's not just the world. Dili lang siya naasagawa sa atong church, but it's in the church. Jesus was a Galilean, and worse, he was from Nazareth. He wasn't educated by religious leaders, so his own did not receive him. So Nathaniel lived in a world full of prejudice. Karon sa atua, is there anything different? Makaingon ba ta nga dili ta gyud ga-judge og tao? Unsa day prejudice? Di ba mo ni sa mga ga-judge og tao? Makaingon ba ta nga dili ta ga-judge og tao dayon? First impression last? And then there's also another idea ba? Perhaps another reason why he said those words, is that he wants to confirm first. Pwede po no? Maybe Nathaniel wants to confirm first and not believe right away. Dili siya gusto mo tuod dayon nga, uy, naano gud ang Messiah? Uy, Harris, mata na ta sa baba, kaya na si Jesus sa baba. So, maingunin mo, Sir Harris. Ikaw na. Ate. Bumalik na ginawa, ate. No? So, he doesn't want to be naive, to accept any news that comes his way. He wants to first examine and prove to himself that whether Philip's report is true or not. You know what pag ginigiingon ni Philip sa ako ang anak naging ang Messiah na nagikan dito sa Nazareth? So what happened? Diba sa atong story? Fortunately, Nathanael confronted his prejudice. No, giadtuan gid niya si Jesus. Diba giadtuan niya si Jesus? Wala siya dito dahil sa chismis. So, he went to see Jesus and he believed. That's what we should do. We should confront gossip in the church. We must confront gossip in the church and prejudice in the church. Church will never be a safe place for prejudice. Dili nato na siya maiwasan. But we can make it safer. Because prejudice can prevent people from coming to church. Amen?
Amen.
No, tinuod yun na siya. Sa ganitong number 1 lesson, prophecy studied correctly brings. Second, prophecy incorrectly brings prejudice. So on the third and final lesson that I have learned in Bartholomew, it says, God's grace and love is more powerful than prejudice. So what happens in the next verses is an incredible encounter with Jesus, with a divine being, no? As Nathanael approached Jesus, he hears the Messiah say, "Behold," or "Here is a true Israelite, in whom there is nothing false," or in whom there is no deceit. Jesus knew that Nathanael is not just an Israelite by name, but one who is worthy to bear such name. Bartholomew is indeed an Israelite who strived to follow God's commandments and do His will in his life. So yun diri as a picture, no? Christ is a discerner of our hearts. That's why nastorya niya nga si Bartholomew is actually a very honest Israelite. And he knows who we are before we even know Him. Maka-imagine ba ta kung makaatubang nato ang Ginoo, unsa kaya ang iyang iingon? Here is an Adventist. Wala ka ang Ginoo sa ito, who is a true Christian. Or unsa kaya iingon sa Ginoo sa to? Here is a prejudice. Ayun ka ha siya? So, ano din nato no, kung unsa ang character ni Bartholomew, because Jesus knows the heart. So Bartholomew quickly had a change of heart. Diba na-change tayo ng heart ni Bartholomew? Una, nahimo siyang sarcastic or prejudice kayo siya sa Ginoo. Napay ko, anak. Pero after nakita niya si Jesus, unsa ingon niya? Siya ang first yun nga ni-declare nga Jesus is the Son of Man. Yun siya, Rabbi, thou art the Son of God. No? Ingon siya, Rabbi, thou art the Son of God. Nathanael wasn't a hypocrite. So he was sincere, and he is a true Israelite. Was he perfectly obedient? No. But willing. But is he willing to sincerely serve? Tanaw na to. Is he willing to sincerely serve? Yes. No, absolutely. Because his heart was sincere and his faith is real, God made a difference. No, ano ang Ginoo sa iya. God made that powerful gihatag sa Ginoo sa iya. Because of his love for God, he also obtained that love from God. No? And that is why ang iyang pagka-prejudice nakapiyuan dayon ang iyang kasing-kasing. He quickly had a change of heart. So sa life ni Bartholomew, kung kita kaya, pagsulod nato sa, I think the 12 disciples embody the different characters of the church members. Mutuod na nila. Kung ganito si Andrew, Ma'am Ching, wala sila natubang Ma'am Ching, soft-spoken. Tama, soft-spoken si Andrew, and teachable. Diba? So, si Bartholomew is honest. and straightforward. So natin mga church members ngayong ana, no? And one thing, ngayon dire, as Christians today, we need to learn how to be a disciple, just like Bartholomew. We also have our weakness, but with God's help, we can overcome them and become a better servant of the Most High. You know what? Yes. As long as we desire to be with God and be willing to do whatever it takes to stay close to Him, we will also see greater things than this. Bakit ang promise sa Ginoo? Kana lang, nituon na dahil ka, but I will make sure that you will see greater things than this. Na makakita dyan kang angels ascending and descending from heaven to the Son of God. So from Bartholomew, we learn to have the sincerity to speak our mind while being willing to admit our mistakes. Diba? Nagstorya dahil siya, sarcastic yung pag-ingon, but he is willing to admit his mistakes. The faith to see the divine hands in the events of our lives, and the open-mindedness to look beyond our prejudices, to see ourselves and our fellow humans in the light of truth. So the desire of Nathanael to meet the Messiah was greatly rewarded. No, di ba? Eager kayo siya. Sige, dali. Ito na ko. Yang i-confront yung prejudice. He was not just praised by Jesus. Jesus pa mismo nakita sa iya, but promised to see greater things. As Christians today, we should have the zeal and willingness to be with God, just like Nathanael did. When we sincerely desire to be with God, we are also rewarded. Rewards for this life and the life to come. So I will be leaving you a para sa ako, a powerful text in 2 Corinthians 12:9. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. Happy afternoon, everyone.
Thank you so much, Wintonette, for that wonderful message. We're talking about the life of disciple Bartholomew. I'm requesting all the department heads who are present this afternoon to please come up here as we give this token and certificate of appreciation to our speaker, Wintonette, Mojica-Tabudlong. Please come. Ito mga department heads. Sir Galen. I read the citation here. Adventist Hospital Davao present the certificate of appreciation to Wintonette Tabudlong for her fervor and enthusiasm as week of prayer speaker, highlighting the life of the disciple Bartholomew. Given this 17th day of June 2019 at Adventist Hospital Davao Upper Room Fellowship Center. Signed, Maria Joyce Pillalago, President and CEO. And requesting as well, akong gihangyo si Ma'am Ching to be here. Wala ko na ito nahatag ganina ang iyahang token. So atong ihatag sa iyahang. Ma'am Ching, thank you sa inyong time ganina, especially sa message. Just a few announcements before we have our prayer box. So, sa likod na tayo prayer box, prayer request box. So if you have your prayer request, no, Hindi na ito i-drop na. And again, akong i-remind katong wala ganyang buntag nga ang chaplaincy department ang inahanglan yung additional nga chaplain. Abong i-prefer na mo nga lady chaplain. So, sa mga babae, mga lady nga naanip karon, please send your application to chaplaincy department. It's either sa kuha, kag Sir Handler, or kag Pastor Jimmy sa Bantan, no? So, at least next week, makasugod na tayo ng duty. We need additional staff, a lady sa mga department. Okay? Tomorrow, let's be back here at 7:30. Our speaker tomorrow is Sir Sunny Glenn Popelo. Topic about Matthew, Apostle Matthew. Let's separate by cluster for our prayer band. Then diha na punta mo himo sa ato ang closing song, sa ato ang cluster and closing prayer. Once again,